Hello, this is Marty Langford, director of the documentary Doomed, the untold story of Roger Corman's Fantastic Four, and I'm here with Fantastic Four director Ole Sassoon.
Hey Marty, how are you?
I'm well, how are you?
This is a trip. We're sitting here watching this movie that I haven't seen in quite some time. So,
like what's quite some time?
Since the last comic book convention that we screened it at was been a couple of years ago.
All right, that would have been 2011.
Yeah, the one in St. Louis.
Contamination.
Yes, Contamination. Yeah, it was fun.
We're of course doing this in conjunction with the documentary that we're shooting, and we've spoken to Rebecca and Jay, and we've got the rest of the cast upcoming next week, and they both mentioned this event and just said how wonderful a time it was.
Yeah, it was actually the first time we all got to watch the movie together and with an audience.
Yeah, and Rebecca had said how seeing it on a large screen as opposed to a TV monitor, which is how everybody else has seen it, made such a difference.
It does make a difference. And I don't know if it's just psychological, because, you know, when you're in a movie theater and something is projected on a large screen, it feels like a movie.
Yeah. There is something
It doesn't feel like a TV show. I think, you know, when you're in the dark room and the lights go down and the only light in the room is on the screen.
Yeah.
And I think we're sort of conditioned now, and it's like, wow, look, it's a movie. Even if it's like pictures of your kids.
I know, right? Now, talk to me a little bit about this credit sequence.
Well, you know, once again, we were looking to do something a little interesting and thematic, hence all the outer space stuff. And
was this all stock footage?
All stock footage.
And was there any CG in this at all?
In this title sequence?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, okay.
No, title sequence was all stock footage that we got through Roger.
Oh, so was any of this used in previous Corman films, do you know?
Probably.
I know, huh?
Yeah, Roger was way ahead of the curve in recycling.
Steve Rabner.
Mm-hmm.
Heard a lot about him.
Yeah, I don't know where he is or what he's doing, actually. I don't know if he's still in the business or not.
Is this George Gaines's hand?
Mm-hmm.
186,282.
Let me turn that up just a bit.
Sure.
In here just for the credit.
There we go.
That is the speed of light in miles per second. If you prefer kilometers per second.
Now, this is George's only scene, right? How long did you have him for?
Yeah, just the one day.
792.458.
And we probably
Thank you, Reed.
shot him out in less than an hour.
Show off.
It's a nice reveal.
Let's see, whip it
Yeah, I think, you know, when I'm making movies, I like to always try to save a little of something to be revealed to an audience.
Yeah.
You know?
And it's much more effective than a cut, you know, to have the camera move and to have an actor move rather than just...
Mm-hmm. Yes, and once again, we don't know who this person is.
Not yet.
Who's doing this with the note back and forth. Anytime you can put a little suspense or anticipation in an audience's mind, like what's going on, it gets them involved in the film.
Yeah.
It pulls them in immediately and say, well, what's going on there? Who is this? Who's passing the note back and forth?
Wow, look at
So
Alex.
bring your telescopes, bring your imagination.
We just shot Alex, and gosh, he looks like such a child here.
Yeah, we were young, man. Or I should say, we were old now. Let's see, and here's the reveal of whoever's passing that note.
Yeah?
And it's turned out to be Victor Von Doom.
Cannot keep adjusting the primary angles of that prism quadrant.
And was that a zoom or was that a camera in?
That was a dolly.
Oh, okay. So you're on tracks here?
Yeah, we're on dolly, yeah.
outside.
I don't know. I was kind of a purist, you know. Didn't like to use zoom lenses unless you can disguise them in a dolly move.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I think zoom for the sake of zoom just kind of takes you out of the reality of it for some reason. It's not the same as if you have a fluid sort of organic move.
Right. The optics of our eyes are such that we can't zoom.
No, and what is a zoom? Zooms are good if you're going in on a sort of an inanimate object.
We have time.
And
I love that gesture that Joseph just did there.
Yeah, well, that was a little of what he called foreshadowing.
Yes.
Seeing the hand go up.
Who are these two guys?
Yeah, and also, once again, establishing characters that, exactly, who are these guys?
And so far, 2 scenes, 2 locations.
Mm-hmm.
We're not set bound. And that must have been nice during production, too, to be able to kind of move around, because I'm sure you did spend a lot of time on a soundstage.
Yeah, we did spend a little time on the stage where the sets were built. The Fantastic Four headquarters and Dr. Doom's headquarters were actually built side by side.
Going anywhere without a coat. I won't have you catching cold just to watch Colossal.
This is one of those houses in Arlington District. Those houses that were built back in the turn of the century.
Yeah.
The other century.
Aren't you coming with us, Reed?
No, Susan, listen.
Now, who's the mom there? What's the actress? Do you remember?
Oh, God, no. I'm sorry to say.
Oh, even now she's smitten.
You know what?
Mm-hmm.
I might even see it if I get lucky. Now listen, I want you 2 kids to have a great time, will you? Take good care of your mom. I gotta go.
There is, there's such playfulness in his performance, in Alex's performance.
Oh, yeah. Well, this particularly, I mean, being in the past and purposely making it sort of playful and innocent.
Yeah.
And,
Got work to do.
like a Judy Garland movie, Like,
And look at this shot. This is obviously a jib or a crane.
Yep, that's a jib. Dolly and jib.
Reviewing your notes, and it still seems to me that your calculations.
See, once again, it's like people walk in, they see something,
I know.
there's a reaction to something,
All I'm asking you to
and
do is just factor
the
in
audience
your
wants to
advice.
see, wow, what are they reacting to?
Right.
Don't give it away right away. Don't start the shot
Start a
back
stab,
wide
right.
and have them walk in and stop. It's the point of that.
Right, yeah, you hear a lot of...
No suspense. You got to build suspense no matter what you do, a little bit of anticipation and lead in and such.
Screenwriters will always put in, like, establishing shot when we're entering a new location.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it would be written establishing shot laboratory. And as a director, you see that and think, well, do I really want that wide shot and see everything?
Yeah, I mean, eventually you want to give wide shots when you can because it adds production value. But you only need wide shots on a screen for 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Your mind comprehends it, and then it's over. Other than that, it gets boring, That's my hand.
Oh, look at that. Here's some CG.
Yeah, this is some of the CG that I wasn't too happy about, Got a little fan blowing on their hair right there.
Mm-hmm.
But if you notice, like in every James Cameron film, when the characters are in jeopardy, there's flashing lights. Even in Titanic, when they're into the water and all electricity's going off,
starts to go in and
and
out.
electricity goes in and out, because visually, it causes confusion and anxiety.
David Lynch uses electricity a lot, and he's, of course, in his own headspace, but it's an excellent point, and you're absolutely right.
It does. It causes confusion and anxiety.
Yeah.
It's picking up speed. It's not possible.
Were these screenshots done in post-production, or were those on set, on monitors?
Yeah, I think they were
You're overheating. Now.
stuff fed in the monitors on those old computers.
Oh, Michael Bailey Smith at,
Look at
60
that
frames
computer.
a second. I know it's a huge monitor.
Yeah, and this is all, it's a CGI, flashing light, and physical effects. We put spark charges on set,
It's funny, so,
And we shoot spark charges when things are blowing up. We're shooting that at high speed. So it slows stuff down when it's going boosh,
Yeah.
boosh, boosh. You know, it's like the old movies when they put models in the oceans and they would shoot them at high speed to make the waves look bigger and more dangerous. And yeah, I think this one seemed just about blew the entire special effects budget.
Oh, goodness.
Blowing up the sparks and such.
13 minutes into the movie.
It's dry ice. We stuck dry ice in that thing and wet it down.
Now this was a set, so this.
This was on a location actually.
Oh, where was this?
At the same place where we shot the university stuff. It was at a school, and I forgot which school we're at. But they took over a room.
I'll get help.
Where we shot the classroom scene.
Yep.
Because you try to, obviously you have to try to get as much stuff as you can in one location, so you're not moving the circus for every set. This was at the same place, at the school.
Oh, and did you just kind of dress this?
Yeah, turn it into a
foreground,
hospital. Yeah.
You put people in white coats and.
Yeah.
The burns were too severe. I'm very sorry.
This is a nice little music cue here.
Oh, these guys just did a brilliant job with the music.
Where are you taking him?
Downstairs. To the morgue.
I love the pause that he puts in that.
To the morgue.
Downstairs. To the morgue. Perfect. It was brilliant. These guys were great.
Did you cast them as a team? They had this chemistry?
Yeah, absolutely. Chemistry.
Gosh, look at Michael. He's a...
Oh, dude, I think it wasn't long before this, he was playing professional football.
Oh, I don't think I knew that.
Yeah, I think, if I'm not mistaken, he played for the Dallas Cowboys.
Sorry, Reed.
And he is got to be 6'4", 6'5".
It's a big dude.
Yeah.
Highness.
That's Steve Rabiner.
That close over the eyes?
Yeah. That's the producer's eyes.
And was this like second unit pickups or?
Oh yeah, we did a lot of that.
Did you have a second unit director or was it you?
No, that was us. That was me. I did everything with, whomever and whenever. We altered the sky a little bit to make it look a little more like a comic book.
That hunk of junk, eh?
Look at that. You pre-envisioned the iMac computers.
You miss this chance, you'll never
Very similar.
get a chance to play anything.
Yeah, you're right, man. Wow.
I guess you can get grant money to do anything these days.
Grant money.
So how much did the comic book influence the direction of the movie in terms of like the era of the Fantastic Four?
I'm just blind.
Well, it was everything because we see all this is like that sort of modern Italian 1960s stuff that you see in the early Ursula Andress films with Marcello Mastroianni, the furniture, that 60s Italian furniture and that stuff in the background. And that was literally what we had talked about.
And who was the production designer?
Mick Strawn. He did a great job, man, for no money, and just built all this stuff and did a beautiful job.
Hi, Mrs. Storm. Johnny and Susan go to outer space with us?
That's kind of creepy.
Well, I don't know, dear.
What?
The way you said.
Yeah.
It's so good to see you, too.
Yeah, so the comic did influence us a lot,
And you did you tend to look at the kind of the early Lee Kirby kind of issues rather than the more contemporary comic books?
Yeah, I mean, I think, and from what I remember, we tried to do everything from like nothing existed after the first, like as far as we knew and what we based this on, there was no other comic except
Johnny,
number
I don't
one
think
for Fantastic Four.
And was that kind of a stated desire that you had like vocalized to everyone, or is that just in your mind as you were designing and directing?
I mean, I may have mentioned it to the actors and such, but I know we talked about it in terms of production design, and photography and everything else that goes with it. We said, we have to make this feel like more like the 60s than not. And I think we kind of got it,
You know what? I do too. I really like the kind of negative fill you have on the way you model the light on some of this stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yes.
And was that because of lack of funds and you didn't have a lot of lights? Or?
No, I mean, Mark Perry, who shot this, and I haven't talked to him in, God, I haven't seen him talk to him in a long, long time.
Look at you.
But I think he had a really good style for the film back then and what we were trying to accomplish. And I got to give him a lot of credit too,
Yeah.
We have received the shipping.
That was a nice little intro for Jay and Sue.
Yeah,
or Jay
absolutely.
And Sue, Jay and Rebecca.
And you see here again, we don't see all of him right away.
Right.
And we save it for that big moment, when it finally happens, that we want to reveal. It's once again anticipation from the audience, mystery, suspense, Wow, who's that? It's Dr. Doom. I mean, everybody knows it's Dr. Doom, but you want to, a finger, an eyeball.
Yep.
Very tasty.
Now, who's this guy? Now,
that's the jeweler.
And why isn't it the Mole Man?
I'm trying to remember. It was some issue with the rights or the comic.
Thanks. It's show and tell time. So, Reed, what's in this thing? Reed, what's going on? Hey, what's in what?
And do you remember if Mole Man was in earlier drafts of the script, or was it always the jeweler?
You know what? I don't remember, but I think there was a discussion about that. In fact, I remember there was a discussion. Why are we not calling him the Mole Man?
Careful, what are you doing? Put me down.
It's okay. I got you. You're safe with me.
But he was a good layer for the film.
Right. No, absolutely. There's Cat Green.
Yeah.
I really am sorry.
This is a nice little moment between them.
It's really nice.
Really touching, and I mean, look at Michael, a handsome dude. He did a great job.
It was only a statue.
And she did a wonderful job.
Oh, statue. Hey. So you want your...
Hey.
He's totally smitten. Look at him.
I'm in love.
Great first impression.
He
You
just,
like me, I can tell.
Are you sure? Well, just keep telling
Something
me
tells me that guy that just walked by in the glasses was on the production team.
probably.
Hurry up. Wait 10 years. Yeah, but you like him. I can tell. Reed, I can tell.
And what was that location?
That was this wonderful building downtown, and in fact, if I'm not mistaken, they shot a scene in there for the Social Network. One of Fincher's films, they shot upstairs in that same space where we shot.
Follow the treasure.
You were a contemporary of Fincher's when you were making music videos.
Yeah, I know David. David and I, know each other, and
I just saw the real change, by the way, the cigarette burn.
yeah, the old
There it is
days.
again.
Those don't exist anymore.
No. Yeah, these music cues. Tell me a little bit about the music and how this came together.
Well, the guys, David and Eric Wurst, and they just, when we sat down and started talking about the film, I said, gee, it would be nice if we could do like a real movie soundtrack, like an orchestral kind of thing, and not just synthesizer.
Which for a movie of this budget you would expect.
And
the synthesizer.
And I was even saying it in a half joking manner. And they took a copy of the film home and they watched it. And then they called me up and they were like all excited about their ideas. And they said, yeah, man, we really do want to do something orchestral, something big. And I said, yeah, but we don't have any money to do something big. They said, don't worry about it. And they did it. And as I said earlier, they paid for it themselves.
And yeah, it's just another layer of kind of, well, maybe not tragedy, at least disappointment in the life and career of the artists and the craftsmen who worked on this movie.
Oh yeah, ain't it the truth, man?
Give it a chance to speak to us.
See, yeah, his performance was really good. I mean, he played that really, really well.
For 10 years, I've carried the failure of that dream with me. I've carried Victor's death.
This is the only shot in the movie that I was unhappy with.
And maybe
this shot right here.
Really?
Yes.
I'm trying to think. Why?
Because I told the DP, I said, make sure that they are in silhouette in front of that blue.
Oh, so.
No light.
Anywhere you want to go.
Could have put a little light here and there maybe, but I said silhouette, man. This should be in silhouette. It'll be a beautiful thing.
Well, why didn't you just look at your monitor while you were directing?
Because we didn't have monitors. Everything was just the camera. We had no monitors to check shots or do anything.
Well, admittedly, like a video tap from... What camera did you use for this? Do you remember?
No video tap. In the old Arri BL, 35BL,
yeah.
No video. No video. So every time we'd set a shot, I would have to look through the lens, which was great. And that's like the old days.
Right.
That's how they made movies. Nobody had a monitor or a video,
Right. You take the tape measure out to get your focus.
Yeah.
You have your light meter to get your exposure.
That's it, man.
Kat told me a good story about learning to sculpt enough to fake it. She was concerned when she was acting in this scene that when they would show her hands on the clay, that sculptors would catch that she was faking. So I guess her mom was a sculptor, and she took some lessons from her before this.
See how wonderful those people are?
Yeah.
That's what I was talking about. See, stuff like that I don't even know.
Yeah.
That's the depth of these actors' willingness to do something believable and authentic and good.
With the most precious gift I can give you.
He was good, this little Englishman. He was really good.
We will be ready to move in 1 hour, Your Highness.
Yeah, this guy's line deliveries are great. That's nice.
Is that understood?
Yes, Your Highness.
Good. Very good.
Now, I wonder who is going to come out of that grate. Mark Sykes, the casting assistant, had told me about Ian Trigger, this funny little English actor who was heavily made up by John Vulich over at Optic Nerve. John is actually very proud of the prosthetics that he put on him. The jeweler was completely his creation. And of course, they can use the Mole Man. Here's a little bit of CG, a little bit of silly dancing, but they really took some work with that jeweler's eyeglass and the fact that they just completely created this character outside of the Marvel Universe. And they were very happy with the results. So I really would have to say that, outside of actually having the Mole Man, look at that eyeglass, it's terrific. And that is Joseph Culp's eye in there, isn't it? Without having the Mole Man, the jeweler, I think, is a perfectly good choice. And a character who, is fun and that Ian Trigger pulls off really nicely. There goes the old switcheroo, the old Indiana Jones thing. And as he, kind of made his way through this movie, he was a fairly old man at the time, but he did some very sprightly things, didn't he?
Luck, that little flare right there.
Yes, it was.
That was terrific.
Now you see, as we get to see Doom more, we see a little more of his face, a little more and a little more. And this is the first time we see his face.
Now that was made out of just plastic, molded plastic.
Yes, the mask was plastic. Yeah,
and that was Optic Nerve.
Mm-hmm. They did a freaking great job. It's hard for me to watch the new one now, because I was so used to hearing Joseph Culp's voice as Dr. Doom.
Now, is this a miniature?
That's miniature, yep, that we shot. It was about maybe 18 inches high.
This is stock footage.
Obviously. Stock footage. Stock footage. That we did it in camera, right there.
So how was it? Was it a fish line? Was it a?
No, it was a very tiny, clear plastic rod that came out of the bottom of the pen that you couldn't see on camera.
Right on time.
Just kind of floated it like the guy was floating it with his hand below camera.
Rebecca told a good story about these spacesuits and how these backpacks were simply velcroed onto the back of these fire retardant suits.
A lot of time, Susan.
I'm all set.
Engage.
Yeah, and these are all like, piecemeal helmets from another studio sitting on a fire suit.
Second it hits the inner circle, Johnny, you activate the gravitational field.
And this is another miniature with the shuttle doors opening.
Right. And that background is like holes punched into plastic to make stars.
I think that's how Kubrick did it.
Hey, man, if it works for Kubrick, it'll work for us.
Susan, activate the antenna.
His handheld and a...
Oh, yeah.
And did you ever operate the camera?
Drive, cowboy.
No, not really. No, I don't recall ever operating camera on this thing.
The diamonds are fake. Ben, get us out of here!
The diamonds are fake. Now, why are Johnny and Sue even on this shuttle?
Well, they had some knowledge of something. Honestly, I don't remember. But we needed them all together so they could all be the Fantastic Four.
Oh, that's right.
Otherwise, see, I kind of dug this because I thought that was real 1960s.
That psychedelic.
Sort of like 60s psychedelic gamma ray, all this kind of stuff. That's
terrific.
Like far out, man. And I think it was probably from one of Roger Corman's movies from the 60s, I think called The Trip or something,
Oh, sure, the Nicholson film.
Never look.
Yep.
Doesn't it look like an acid trip?
It absolutely does.
And we just blasted the light on them and overexposed. It was all done in camera,
Yep.
Dr. Richards.
That was a zoom. Into the diamond.
Well, that called for
Snap zoom.
Oh, that's beautiful.
That's our little CGI shot that I had to go get a couple extra rolls of film for and shoot.
So this was after...
On a green screen, yeah.
Production? After principal photography?
Yeah. I rather like this shot. Coming over that hill, like little tiny...
Yep.
Trying to make them feel insignificant and lost. I mean, I hate to state the obvious, but there it is. You know?
No, absolutely.
We did it. There's a we got the fire way in the background, and
you know what? That was terrific composition too, with the tree and with the body, with the figure, and.
Over here.
Well, yeah, because if you shoot them against the white sky, there's no depth. You don't get a sense of depth. You gotta, the tree out of focus in the background was,
Careful, I must be in shock. I don't
do that on purpose so that you have depth in the shot.
Get out of here.
And how big was your crew, say, during a scene like this?
Well, with all the art department guys laying everything out there, we probably had about 30 people out there.
So, I mean, this was for Corman, it was a large budget, and during production, you really weren't cheaping out. Jay had said that, he had earned I think double scale or something, where he was surprised to see that amount because, he had heard about Roger Corman and assumed that they would try to, lowball him.
Absolutely.
What? We're okay, Reed. We're okay.
And Jay also told a very funny story about the day he got his hair dyed. A lot like that scene in Malcolm X when Denzel's screaming, dyeing his hair from red to black.
We're fine. Come on, doesn't that bother anybody just a little?
Oh, well, okay. We're not all together fine. I got a bit of dirt in my nose.
Great line coming up here.
Did I do that?
Do what?
So I think the script was really well done.
Absolutely.
I think these guys wrote a good script, and
where are you?
You know, it's all of this
Bedroom right here.
scene in particular is it's got a nice pace to it, and it's pretty organic to the situation. You know,
look,
it wasn't. You know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
What is wrong with you guys? It's like you've seen a ghost. Just
Look at your legs, Susan.
Unfortunately, that was that guy. Scott Phillips is crappy in his computer.
Here comes. Whoa! Now tell me about that effect.
It's a combination. CGI and physical.
So did he have his arm behind his back with some rig that could telescope out?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
Good reaction.
You know what? I mean, some have kind of argued that like Jay's performance is too broad, or the movie That's a Nice Shot is has an element of camp to it. But more so than the other, it's terrific. More so than the other adaptations, it's truer to the comic book.
Exactly. I mean, I got, everything that I did in this film and they did, I think it came from the original comic.
Was that the real night sky, or was that like
we did a little bit of
we must have dropped telemetry.
Post edition.
You mean we fell off the radar?
I like the way he shot this, lit it.
Yes.
Oh, great.
We laid smoke back
before
there
they
in
find us,
this
especially if they think we're
the
dead.
smoke machine, and just hit it with a backlight and obliterated it. So they're in oblivion. They're in a completely isolated place that is nondescript.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Susan. I can't. I don't know.
Now, were there many script revisions when you came on board from the first draft that you?
No.
But there's no need.
Not that I remember.
Panic! Panic! Reed, my sister here disappears at the drop of a hat. You stretch like some human rubber band, and I'm a walking blowtorch, and you don't want us to panic? Oh, well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Excuse me.
Yeah, I think Jay's terrific.
He's very good here. He's very good. I mean, I'm telling you, I did not
for this. There's always a
direct
scientific explanation for everything. Ain't that right, Pat?
every inch of this movie.
What did we do,
in regards to their performance?
Mm-hmm.
They brought this to the party, man. They were really good.
Rest. I think some of us need it.
And with a production schedule that was 18 days or something, you didn't have the luxury of multiple takes of giving them notes or direction, take after take after take. So if they weren't prepared, this could have been a disaster.
Yeah, they came in and rocked, man. They were just so prepared.
And when you remember that, some of these guys were cast, in mid-December of 92, and you went into production the end of December of 92.
Yeah.
They had to do it pretty quickly, and over Christmas.
Yeah. Got Doom laughing in the background and that,
Is that actually Joseph?
Yeah.
God help us.
We took the laughing from an earlier scene when he thought they were dead and played it in here. So we just keep them alive in the movie right here,
I promise.
Now, during post-production, during the editing process, was it pretty much just you and Glenn Garland, the editor?
Oh, yeah.
Sitting in front of a flatbed?
Mm-hmm. That's it.
What do you mean, alive?
Had to shoot that like that. I had to have him come up from below camera for that. Alive! Because you're competing with the iconic It's alive from Frankenstein,
Yes. Oh, there you go. Sure.
You're competing with something as iconic as that. You better do something a little good there, interesting visually, because otherwise it'll fall flat. It's like, boy, did that suck. And I'm not saying it's the Frankenstein. That's just become classic, obviously. Used over and over again. But comedic moment. But see, like the spinning, it's cartoon. Yeah. It's comic book. You know, the spinning newspapers and these guys with their little comedic gestures and...
Right, and to read, internet trolls who, diss the movie for elements like that, it's,
Who the fuck are they? You don't get it for saying it. A couple miserable little losers sitting in their mother's basement at home,
Yeah.
Eating Doritos all day long.
The old classic Moonlight.
Yeah.
And this one's a biggie.
Now, did you have many nighttime shoots within that 18 days?
We had enough. Outside, that whole campfire, all that stuff outside. This is at night. We didn't have the luxury of, building any of these sets. This is an actual location.
By the way, those people really,
downtown somewhere, I forgot.
They deserve the best.
It's a great space, though, isn't it?
It sure is, yeah.
With the glass upstairs and the fact that it has a level up there just works really well for the sequence that's about to come.
Right.
Get
that cat out of here.
Yeah.
Nice little wipe.
Yeah. It's not unlike what they were doing, and I have to say, give Star Wars did, they did iris down, iris out, side, left, right,
Yes. Yeah, and that was, back to the serials of the, 30s and...
Bingo.
Yeah.
Are such things as dreams are made on?
It's the final image from the trailer. Did you cut the trailer?
I think somebody else cut the trailer when I was...
And actually, you know what, we talked to Jonathan Fernandez, who was the VP of marketing at the time.
Yeah.
And he had talked about that process. That's right.
That is what I ask of you, my
people. I don't remember who cut the trailer. Somebody did. I thought they did a really good job, man.
Well, the trailer is, in my opinion, iconic. I remember, working at a video store when it came out at the head of some Concord New Horizons picture. I think it was Cry of the Wild 2.
Yeah.
White Wolf, I can recall of the, oh goodness, I don't know. And we would just watch it over and over and over again. We were so excited for this movie to come out. And I was at the Shrine Auditorium when you guys had a big event there where I think you might have world premiered the trailer.
Yes.
And you had it on a loop, just playing over and over again at this comic convention. And boy, were we excited.
Yeah, weren't we all, man?
Yeah, and then the ultimate disappointment, of course.
I don't know, man. You look at this, you could, if this film was transferred the way it should have been transferred, you could compare this scene to any scene for any movie and any of the Fantastic Four movies. And
it's so funny. I was about to say I know, and I'm like, well, I don't know because I've never actually seen a print or a layoff struck from a conformed negative.
Right. Right.
And while the trailer is pretty sharp and looks very nice, I've only ever seen the movie in bootleg form.
Yeah. No, and it's a shame because I think the lighting and art direction and everything is pretty top notch considering the budget.
Yeah.
But who could like this any differently or any better?
Right. No.
Honestly.
Yeah, you can make different decisions. You
could be a little bit different here and there.
Right, but those would be stylistic choices that a director would make, just as you did, and they would be equally as valid and equally as professional. And
but there's a lot of mood in this scene, lighting-wise. All this beautiful shadows coming in through the windows, and see, I liked putting the comedic, touches in this film because it's a comic book.
Yeah. And we just saw those cigarette burns again, kind of proving the telecine origins of this.
Well, those are You know what those are? Those are
that's like the warnings to the projectionists.
yeah,
that
the
you need to change
projectionist
the
signal
reel.
change the reel.
Yep. That's a lot of smoke.
Yeah, but I thought, what you do is what happens is when you lay smoke in like that, and you don't have a big set, you don't have a big. And we talked about this. Is try to blend things in and out of the sets like this, so you can build up off the audience imagination. When all that smoke is going through the atmosphere and you're hitting it with these backlights, it lights it all up and it makes it look like, wow, it's something big and intriguing and mysterious.
Otherwise, it would be, 8 people standing in the middle of a field.
Yeah, black and with no punch.
Yeah. And here's another reveal. This is my favorite.
Yeah, reveal.
What's going on?
No, he's with my crew.
Now, did it take, who was controlling the servos for,
The optic nerve crew.
So they were on set.
They were there watching this. They knew the dialogue. They had the script. They knew exactly what he was saying, when he was going to. Yeah, look at that. Look at him. I mean,
Yeah, and I know it's.
Look at his lips doing what they're doing. It's amazing.
And it's popular to say that, because even detractors of this film readily admit that they prefer this thing over the chickless Columbus Tim Story thing.
Yeah.
And it's a bit of a cliche to say that, but it is. It's better.
I mean, look at it. Look at his eyebrow. Look at him furrowing his brow and his lips. He's totally distraught.
And do you remember Optic Nerve's budget for effects? What percentage it may have been of the...
0.
Man, we're all gonna go get some help.
Hardly any money. These guys, everybody did everything with no money.
Okay. Come on, Ben. We're ready, Lieutenant.
See, and going back to what I said earlier about what happened to all of our careers when this movie never saw the light of day. We never had an opportunity to get a leg up.
Yeah,
because
to
nobody
build
saw it and
off
say,
of
wow,
this.
you guys did a really good job with this, because this movie would have made a little money.
You know what? It absolutely would have.
And that would have helped
I'm
change
Dr.
everything.
Hauptmann.
And
You have been placed in isolation.
not
until
only
we can
did it hurt us
determine
because
the
nobody
cause of
saw
your
it, it hurt us because,
condition.
oh, that's that movie that got shelved. Gee,
You know
what
what?
happened?
I
It
guess
must
I-
have been a
blood
piece of
sample.
shit.
I
huh?
hadn't thought of that,
Oh, that's that movie that never made it.
Right, there was an expectation when you were
People
making
that-
it that it would be something.
Yeah.
And not only did you not get
Why
that,
fantasy?
you actually had
So
a
we
net
can maybe
loss
work this out
because people assumed that they couldn't see it was because it was so
just
awful.
so bad and just something so technically terribly wrong with it that,
Did you find that it
Making
had
fires
an
out of
effect
nothing, if
on your
that's what you
career?
Yes.
During that 2 or 3 or
Big
4 year
fires?
period from 90 whatever 4 to
little
6
things
or 7,
like,
mid 90s, late 90s.
Do you think you
well,
can
I think
explain
it,
this
at
to
that
me,
time
maybe
it didn't affect my
demonstrate how
career
it
one way or
works?
the other, but the
I don't know,
problem
I
is my career didn't didn't
concentrate on
move
a
up
part
or
of my
down.
body,
Right.
like,
Just it
with
was
my
like
hands
this
and
didn't
then just
happen.
Lay them on.
Yeah, and it's of course, impossible to gauge what effect it would have had. But I have to believe that it would have been positive.
I guess we figured out the
But
magic
you know what,
word,
too?
Conduct.
If you look at this film, and
Miss Storm,
if you would have
don't
known the audience that
break
would have seen this
things or
film, and I
explode
just
into
pretty
flames
much
or
came
anything
off
like
of
that,
doing a
do you?
G-rated movie for Disney
No.
called Wild Hearts Can't Be Broken
Good.
that I wrote
I-
and produced. So
I
keep in mind, too, this film,
sort of
we're going to make this film for
Miss
kids,
Storm?
not
behind
and
you.
teenagers and anybody wanted to see it, but not these like jaded, whatever. I mean,
Are you
I
okay?
think if you look at it from the perspective of a 12-year-old or 10-year-old or
Here.
that,
Take your own blood.
Yeah, well, I will say that.
but was not exposed to cell phones, computer graphics, video games, and everything that they have today. Remember, there was none of that back then. None of it.
yeah, because Jurassic Park, the obvious game changer was 95.
Yeah. Well, Star Wars. I mean, come on, Star Wars in the '70s.
Sure,
just
but I guess I'm
knocked it
thinking
out
in
the
terms
park.
of the the advent of CG and the way that movie audiences look at effects today, where they're they can create the impossible and it's naked, it's invisible to the naked eye.
We took it all and put it into one man.
Now, how much direction did you give Joseph in this Doom performance?
Didn't have to direct him much, I'll tell you, man. He, it's like I was saying in the interview, it's like put a cape on somebody and they become this persona, this other larger-than-life, and he was great, man. He was great.
Yeah, he had a couple of nice moments when he'll sweep it behind him. And...
Thank you, Dr. Hauptmann.
Well, too, that we talked about what he wanted to do with it, considering you don't see his face. The actor's largest asset is his face. And where's his face? It's behind a mask. So what do? You compensate for the fact that you don't have a face. You have an expressionless face. So look what he does with his hands and his gestures and everything else to embody that character.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have a face.
And again, the vocal performance was mostly looped.
But he performed it that way on set.
Oh.
It wasn't an afterthought.
Right.
He was in that character on set.
Yeah.
The stuff coming out of his mouth on the set was like that. But it was just muffled behind the mask.
Right.
That was not an afterthought.
Do you consider this your director's cut? Is this the official version of the movie?
Only cut. Yeah. There's no other cut.
To be wandering around in at night. You could get hurt. What do you want here?
We are here to see the jeweler.
I mean, like any film, anybody that makes a movie or
a bouquet of flowers
writes a song or does a painting, you always look back and go, oh shit, I wish I could have done this, I should have done that.
Are you thinking that with this scene right now?
Not particularly this scene, but
there have been moments as we've been watching it.
Yeah, things that I would like to have done a little differently.
I can't take it anymore. Look, we've got to get out of here, huh?
I don't even know if they've called Mom to tell her that we're still alive.
I can't get a straight answer from anyone.
I mean, there's no phones, no television, no nothing.
Now, that's not Michael Bailey Smith in the thing.
No, that's Carl. Carl was always wearing the suit.
What do you think,
And it was funny, Rebecca had told us a story, and I think it's... I'll note it when it comes up, but the height disparity between Carl and Michael is substantial.
Oh yeah.
Michael's 6'5", and Carl is,
like maybe 6.
Yeah.
Stay here a while longer till we find out what's wrong.
But the work that went into that, to get that thing and the voice and all that stuff right.
Yeah. Was there ever any...
Carl memorized all the lines.
Mm-hmm.
Spoke the lines on set.
Let us help ourselves.
The guys are articulating everything with the servo motors. And then Michael Bailey had to come back and lip sync to that.
Come on.
And then we would alter the voice of Michael Bailey as the thing to drop it a couple octaves, to make it a little deeper.
Now, was there many, was it a pain, with these guys getting the servos to work? Or was it something that was designed so well?
Worked all the time.
Yeah.
A couple times because it's wireless.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, dig that, man.
Yeah, right. That's something.
This is a wireless remote, like you're running one of those remote control cars on the street. And just occasionally you get interference, like RF interference or something coming in from radio frequency interference, and then they would malfunction.
It's funny, Kat told me that the wardrobe for most, if not all, of the actors was their own clothes. Was that it wasn't?
Yeah, like these guys.
We will have no choice but to take
Rebecca, also with it's just wear what you feel your character would wear, and hopefully you have it in your closet because we don't have a budget for wardrobe.
It seems The odds of your survival are pretty slim.
And you've got, kind of a color scheme going on here, too, between kind of blues and reds.
Yeah, once again, taking cues from the comic.
Yeah.
If you come back
and
again,
talking to DP and talking to the production designer, See, well, what world are we creating? What world are we in? We're not in our world. We're in their world.
Mm-hmm.
And what do we do to make it a little bit more fantasy and fantastic? What do we do to try to make it feel like we're in another world?
Yeah.
Particularly in this guy's place.
Was this this must have been a set.
That was at Rogers' place, yeah.
And this was the studio?
Yep, the old lumber yard.
Lumber yard. I think I'd heard that it was a condemned lumber yard. What kind of shape was it in? What were the kind of conditions that you were working under?
It was the worst. It was... But it didn't matter. It did not matter.
Should we go back and eliminate him?
No. Stakes are too high.
Alex told a good story about
stay where you are.
The ants that were always around in their dressing rooms and on set, and they'd always be spraying them. And miniature?
No, that was it.
The castle was just a matte painting.
Drawing, yeah, matte painting kind of.
Now, was that because you didn't have the time, money, blocking to do that? Or was it
because
just
we
a
thought,
fun...
Yeah, it was a fun, cartoony way of getting them in and out of the wardrobe.
Yeah.
We said, okay, we're not going to stand here and watch them take off clothes and put on clothes.
It's funny, yeah.
So how do we do it and do it in the style of a comic and make it work?
Now, was that, for instance, in the script, or was that like an directorial choice?
No, it was a directorial choice because I had to do it that way on the set,
Yeah.
I had to shoot it that way and then reveal it. If you see the scene, you see the people standing up there in yellow. You don't even know they've changed yet.
Yes.
They turn around and then you reveal it's them.
Yeah.
That hurt.
Nice hook, sis. I guess fighting with me as a kid finally paid off, huh?
This might just give us the answers we're looking for.
So I think in
What language
contrast to
I have no idea.
Reed and Johnny and all, he's more thoughtful and methodical, and Johnny's just kind of fun.
Yeah. He's just punching buttons and looking around, and he's excited.
Yeah, I mean, then that's like he's like the constant curious kid.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's
bingo
was a good choice, and I thought it was a good way to play it.
How many actors did you look at for Johnny? Do you remember? When Jay came in, was it?
I think from casting, when they mentioned his name and we saw his resume, I think they just said this is the guy.
Yeah. Breakaway door, one take.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. That up there was a miniature built. We shot it in two separate elements,
Johnny,
and we put it together in post.
Was it just like a simple, kind of wipe that
the ceiling in that place was not as high as this. That was the lumberyard storage room. That thing maybe had a 12 or 15 foot ceiling. That was it. It was pretty low.
Yeah, right for his soundstage.
But that wide shot we created, that was a set piece that Mick Strawn had built to match the lower part, and we shot it in two sections and put it together.
Supreme and beloved monarch. Come back and visit us sometime. What a vacation!
Is that an official Latvian crest of doom?
Yeah, that back there, I don't know. Mick Strawn, that's it.
No. I have not even started.
He's really good. Joseph is really
How
good.
rude of you!
He's better than the Doom and the new one. I don't care what they say. He's just better.
And you're running off like naughty little children.
He plays it like Doom should be played, you know?
Tin can.
Hot tempered, aren't we, Jonathan?
He's just great.
Take my advice. Keep your cool.
That's a brilliant pause.
I'm in the cooking vein today. Return to your room and wait like good little children.
You know, to take the fact that he had a mask on his face, he made a decision to go this way with it.
Right, yeah, it's right, exactly. It's not bad acting, it's not overacting, it's a choice, it was a decision.
City thing?
Yeah.
We're going home. Very painful decision. I had hoped would not come to this. Alive or dead, your value for me remains the same.
Now, when you found out the movie was shelved,
I will return when you have heard your lesson.
that was before you were going to have the premiere at the Mall of America in I believe it was Minneapolis or Bloomington,
Yeah,
Minnesota.
wherever the Mall of the Americas is.
Right.
Yeah.
And that must have been pretty devastating for both you and the cast.
Oh yeah, it was. It's bad news, man.
And we've just gone through it in depth in this interview that'll be on the Doom documentary that we won't necessarily rehash here, but it's a story. It's a story.
Yeah.
Were those kind of on-set blanks, or were they post-optical flashes?
No, it was on set, man, and it was loud. No post flashing.
We'll cover you.
Those were
Play more.
that was live blanks. And full loads because of the automatic weapons. They had to have a full load for the chamber to work properly.
Oh, okay.
So full loads in that room was deafening. So we all had to wear earphones and earplugs and protective eye gear and all kind of stuff, you know.
Ah, that old trick.
Yeah. I mean, I wanted to have like squibs in there and see them getting.
For the, yep.
Yeah. Holes, filling that body up full of holes and blood and everything. But it was like,
yeah, it's cash.
Sorry, man, no time, no money, move on.
I always love this bit. Was that all practical?
The wide shot's not. The one little close-up of it moving is a practical stretch.
How confident were you in production that, say, that effect was going to work, or that leg in the wide shot was going to work? Did it worry you?
No, we were fearless, man. We said, let's do it this way because we had to do it that way. We have no choice.
Yeah.
You say, given what we have, how do we make this work? And we just said, okay, this is what we've got. Map it out, and let's shoot it that way. And that's it. And it's okay. I mean, it's not the best looking gag because you're going from I love his reaction to that.
Terrific wipe there, the 4 wipe.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think I ever noticed on the exterior of the Baxter building. There were some 4s up there, weren't there?
4 of them.
Yeah, I never noticed that before.
Little things like that when we could. And now this is when the beginning of the emotional downfall of the thing, when he starts having doubts about himself, who he is, if he's ever going to get out of this mess. And
well, he had enough kind of occupying him and keeping him busy up until this point, and now he's got to kind of deal with it,
I mean,
exactly.
Even if we don't recover, or if we get worse.
Rebecca has changed so little in
bet.
20 years. We spoke with her the other day, and still as youthful and beautiful as you can imagine.
Yeah, amazing, huh?
What did you say?
Well,
You got the Clark
I
Kent
just
Superman
wanted-
rather
Susan, what did you
loop in
say
his hair there.
Yeah.
this is a problem that I have sometimes.
But those are things, too, that
Susan,
decisions that they made, too, you know? And trying to figure out how to really embody their character,
You've always had
you
a
know?
quick temper. Now, come on, ever since I know you, right?
See, this scene is pivotal to how they played their...
I catch fire. Exactly.
Play themselves throughout the whole film. This is it right here.
I just stretch myself thin all the time, trying to take care of everybody, trying to do everything at once. Too many things. Ben, you've always relied too much on brute strength when your intelligence would have sufficed. Don't you see? Listen, we know one thing from the blood test. And that's that our DNA has been altered. But I think Colossus has touched our psyche. I think it's made us feel that our worst character defects are in fact our greatest strengths.
Holy Freud, Batman, I think you're right.
Okay. Except that the three of us go back to normal. Our changes are only temporary, but... I mean, why is Ben like that all the time?
That I don't know.
Yeah.
When you watch this in 2011 in St. Louis, was it a good-sized crowd?
Yeah.
You can all live normal lives.
And they were into it.
Oh,
They were.
God, yes, man. It was so great.
Isn't it right, buddy?
Look at that articulation in that face. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Totally believable.
I'm gonna get out of here. Don't stop me.
See, I love those moments, like the movie capture moments, and hey, there's Mark.
There's Mark Sykes, yeah. Doom producer and thing stand-in for some illegal guerrilla filmmaking on, where was it? Hollywood Boulevard?
Yeah. But it's where we can find light, natural light. We didn't bring anything out there, but it looks great, man. This idea, I wanted to make this a little more than what we could afford.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to have him look up and see like the buildings kind of melting a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You see that like in the old films, like the buildings melting when they couldn't afford it.
Buddy, you can't be hanging around back here.
I'm not looking for trouble.
I'm not looking to give any, man. Look, you gotta move, all right? Get walking.
Look, all I want is just to play.
I don't care what you want.
One of the things that's always interested me, and is the amount, and not just the impact it had on the careers of the filmmakers and the cast and the crew, but just how much revenue could have been generated, and how much revenue indeed kind of was generated through the piratisation of the film.
Yeah.
Because if you think about the number of conventions there are around the country, the number of dealers that have copies of this, and the number of times people drop down $15 for one.
Yeah.
It adds up, and while it was only, say, a $1.5 million budget, for this to have had a theatrical run, I imagine you could
We are
have,
the Fantastic Four.
by a factor of, 8 or 10, 15, $20 million, something like that, probably wouldn't have been unreasonable.
Yeah, I think we probably would have hit somewhere in that, $15 to $20 million mark. For a $1.5 million movie, that's a hit.
Yeah.
Welcome.
And there, of course, we go back to the effect it would have had on your career.
We offer you no harm.
Those costumes,
They don't
do you remember anything about the design or the construction or the putting on of the costumes for the cast?
You look so tired.
No, nothing unusual. to speak of. I mean,
A place to rest.
Rebecca had told us that they.
Oh, you're talking about the Fantastic Four
Yes,
costume?
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Come with me.
I'm trying to remember the guy's name that built those for us. He was a really nice cat.
He
was a little
I'll take you home.
excitable, but
they say they all knew what they were in for. As soon as they signed on, they were aware and ready that it was going to be, spandex.
Mm-hmm.
And when they got them, they saw that the construction,
Never felt like an
was,
outcast.
you could sometimes see the stitching, and sometimes the belt would ride up and
And I
cover
don't
the
feel
bottom of the
beautiful
floor.
here.
But they were able to rationalize it out as, these are the costumes that, Sue would have made
Please, let me go
with,
home.
the materials that she had available to her.
Oh, you
well, that was nice of them.
Yeah, I know, huh?
Life, but I will never
I always
learn
thought
to
it was
be
kind of a
your
cheat
queen.
in the Spider-Man movies, the Sam Raimi and the subsequent reboot, that Peter Parker so quickly was able to develop this amazing costume.
Just an amazing costume.
Yeah, and it's not enough to stop you in your tracks watching the movie.
No.
But Kat also told us that this dress she's wearing belonged to her grandmother, I think. And that when she knew this scene was coming up, the producer or one of the production designers was like, do you have anything that we could use that would you're supposed to be a princess? And she went home and talked to her mom, and they picked out this dress for her, and then stuck the tiara or the thing on her head.
Oh, yeah. Cool.
She's a princess.
Cool.
The pain you have endured, my beautiful brother. No more. I will take it all away. You have found a home here. A world.
See the way that was done too. All the crowd around him. Reveal.
Yeah. You give him anything he asks for. Treat him well.
But right before that too, because I was a big fan of the Three Stooges. Let him come back and say, pick one.
You always should have begins right now.
I still like watching the Three Stooges.
Sure, oh gosh.
I really do. If I wake up in the middle of the night, I start channel surfing, and I see the Three Stooges, I stop and watch the Three Stooges.
I'm going on a little day trip. I expect the laser to be fully operational.
Fully operational.
Yeah.
No questions, I trust.
See, he's so expressive with everything.
So this was all green screen?
Yeah, that was green screen, yeah.
But how is it even possible that Doom knows about
Yeah,
the
she
diamond?
looks great in that outfit.
Yeah.
I remember that. She came out in that outfit and she says, what do you think? I said,
Details of this experiment.
Thumbs up.
Yeah, thumbs up. Looking good.
Nobody's ever thought of harnessing Colossus except for you.
And your friend Victor, of course.
Wait a minute.
Where's my death suit from the castle?
Closet.
That was pretty cool. They built the file cabinet.
Yeah, like that. I was just going to comment on that. It's funny, as we've been producing this documentary, a number of the crew and the cast members have brought with them to the interviews so many kind of documents and props and costume. We have the Thing head. We have Doom's cape. We're going to get Doom's mask and his gauntlet. We have contracts and audition sign-in sheets and all of this great stuff, but nobody has the Fantastic Four costumes. Nobody knows where they are. And it's so frustrating because I would love one of those costumes. Is that the Wilhelm scream?
The what?
The Wilhelm scream. You know what that is? The old cowboy movie. Falling scream yell. How was that one? What was that?
Green screen. And miniature. That hole in the floor and everything that he built. See, that stuff was built in miniature like that, with a hole in it and a green screen behind it. And we shot down into it, and then shot him on a green screen, falling into a green screen, and then married the two together in post.
And then just kind of shrunk them down as...
Yeah, as you went.
Yeah. And what, like, was that, how was that effect done? Just with the technology that you had at the time?
Yeah, I mean, you know, just standard optical bipack, I guess they did it in the lab, you know.
Touch it, and she dies.
We actually have some footage of that dress. Kat brought it with her to the interview.
Cool.
So?
I mean it.
Please, don't let me stop you.
Let her go.
Ben Grimm.
Ben?
I said, let her go.
Oh, yes. By all means.
Kat also did some studying at a school or an institute for the blind in her hometown. She spent some time in the classes and spoke to the instructors.
Man.
You know, she was worried about this scene. She's in distress with this gun pressed against, classic line, with the gun pressed against her head. She said that Joseph was really pushing it pretty heavily and strongly into her head, and it was starting to hurt.
Wow.
Well. Seems Loverboy is not quite himself today. Kill him.
Guy's a dick, man.
Yeah.
Let him go. We have what we want. Oh. And a little insurance.
He's just...
as well.
Yeah. Is this a set or is this a location?
That's location.
I was always down with this transition.
Huh?
I was always down with this transition. I was always fine with it. I'm like, I buy it.
Well, you know, it was like we saw the gag of him going from the morphing from thing to human. Am I going to just do the same gag and go back to human?
Yeah.
To, you know, it's like, and so close to one another, it's like, ho-hum, you know? So we tried to do something a little different.
This is actually my favorite part of the movie. When he gestures that they have 24 hours.
Oh, man. He's so great.
Oh, by the way.
Was this just to get Rebecca in the form-fitting costume for more scenes? To have her already dressed up in it?
Yeah, I guess, man. It was in the script, I guess, that way. And it's all like famous.
Sure, yeah.
Nevada, like
12
hours.
Yeah, but
or I'll wipe out New York City.
You know, and if we were doing this with a budget and such, we'd do like, yeah, how many times we'd be in New York City shooting stuff.
Yeah.
All right.
Don't ask. I'm back and that's all that matters.
It's good to have you back, but I got news for you. Doom is your old friend Victor.
What?
He's got a friend of yours with him.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Now, hold on a minute. It was my quest to bury Victor's memory that got us involved in this mess in the first place. He'll be waiting, and we know it. But there's no need for all of you to be involved.
No way. I'm going. I've got my reasons.
I have my reasons, too. I love you, Reed.
I love you, too.
I gotta make sure nothing here happens to Sis. Besides, we are the Fantastic Four, right?
Music's great here.
Yeah, I've always loved this.
I know that's kind of
you guys.
not the best transition. That's kind of one of the things that still kind of irks me when I watch the film. It's like, shit, I didn't have the money at the time or the...
They get from New York.
You know, and then just having them get into the castle without some more obstacles, you know.
Yeah.
Even like in the Wizard of Oz, you know, they had obstacles, you know.
Yep. Yeah, you've got to exactly go through
until they jump the soldiers and the guardsmen and put their costumes on, you know.
Some time. Now listen to me, gang. I want you to keep your eyes open, Johnny. I'm gonna see if I can figure out a way to disarm this laser.
Yeah, those are those kind of little moments that just like hurt me. I go, oh man, that was a little miniature. That thing.
Pitiful. You are pitiful. Half the fun is the chase. You've robbed me of even that. Ah, well. At least you've left me the pleasure of the kill.
Now, was,
That is, of course...
Stan Lee, you said, had visited the set once.
Yeah.
And was he, I guess he's kind of famously known for acknowledging that when he saw Carl in the Thing outfit, he's like, you know, that's how I've always imagined, you know, this creation.
Yeah.
Oh, did we pass the scene where you said you thought Stan Lee might have had the cameo?
Yeah, I was looking for it. I didn't see him.
Oh, no.
It was out in front of the building when the bank...
with a truck was pulled up.
Yeah, I didn't see him. He may have been in there somewhere on the sidewalk.
Fateful night, 10 years ago, made me what I am today. I had such a unbearable hatred for you, Lee.
Do you remember any lens choices you made when you were shooting this?
Yeah. I mean, I always tried to do something called wide but tight. Wide lens, get close to the actor. You know,
right? So
feel like you're like right in there. You're present.
And what is in each of you is all.
Obviously, we had a very limited. I don't think we had but 4 lenses or 5 lenses to choose from.
And a special treat for you.
And were these all kind of part of, were these Corman owned gear, and was it in good shape, or?
Yeah, I mean, it worked.
Yeah.
We shot film, we exposed negative, you know, it was. But yeah, it was all his gear. The camera, the lights. And it was just literally the old Arri 35 BL, you know, which was a workhorse of a camera, actually.
And did you have like a consistent film stock, or was it, you know?
No, we had short ends and recans, and there was.
Is that your hand again?
No consistent emulsion numbers. No, that was somebody else's hand on that one.
And is it recognizable to your eye? No, of course not on a copy like this, but do you remember like recognizing that, you know, this shot didn't match this shot because of the film stock?
Well, I can just say one thing. This is color corrected. This was a color corrected print from Photochem
that we're watching right now.
Yeah, oh yeah, because this was all made from the Final Answer print. And I sat in the screening room with the color timer, and we would just look from cut to cut. It was just atrocious.
Yeah.
That seemed green. That shot pink. This seemed, you know, it was just like the one cut to the next. It was just a mess. And the guys at Photochem, you know, we found medium ground for the color that we wanted to run through consistent, and the guys just nailed it, man.
Yeah.
Because all this cuts really well with, consistent color.
Oh, sure, yeah. No, it absolutely does.
But it was really ugly. When we first saw it, it was bad.
Yeah, this is a great fight. Did you guys choreograph this yourself? Did Carl work on it?
Yeah, and another stunt man who was here, Patrick. He did a really good job too, And those are most of his guys, all his stunt guys that came in. I mean, it's just the one room, and there's no furniture in it, so you can't pick up a chair and break it over somebody's head.
Jay gave us a lesson on how to throw fireballs earlier.
Oh, cool.
28, 27, 26.
And those were air ramps we had,
Yep, to shoot them up.
Yep.
19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8,
It's gonna fire.
7, 6, 5,
Stop it.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, see, all that we're shooting into the roof of the...
No, but I can't.
And you just
the old lumber barn, and...
You just batted it in, or...?
Yeah, that was a model, miniature that Mick built to match in all that up there.
Yep.
Doom.
This scene often gets derided in the blogosphere and in terms of the CG for Johnny.
Oh yeah, it's terrible. We just didn't have the money.
I don't think we've fully met. And Grim.
No, it doesn't. It really, to me, it was like an animatic. It was like a.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah, right. It was like
this is a test.
Right, a previs of
the previs. Exactly. This is the previs of what we want. Now, go make it real.
Yeah.
And we didn't have the money to do it. We didn't have any real shots of New York City. We didn't have any. It was like. Yeah, that really hurt, It was like, God damn, this is the best we're gonna get, and it was frustrating, really frustrating, and we had no support.
It's not like you.
Remember, we were doing this without producers. We were doing this without money.
You're right.
We had nobody helping us finish this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And the guys at Mr. Film had limited amount of computer, savvy and CGI, and it's not their fault. It's just they didn't have the big supercomputers or the technology,
Yeah, just like processing speed.
Yeah, it wasn't Industrial Light and Magic. It was some guys in a garage, basically in Venice, California.
That's for trying to kill my
who
friends.
did a damn good job, considering,
This is for being a real jerk.
In the background of this scene, off the background, from the wide shot up high, where you see all that we had to add in post. Yeah, this stuff is like, oh man, believe me, man, it's not what we wanted, but...
Reed, help me. We were friends once. Remember.
This is the only scene that we rewrote. And
Hang on, Victor.
Joseph and I did it. This scene right here.
See, you have not the courage to strike the final blow, do you? Just as 10 years ago you failed in our moment of triumph. You betrayed me. Colossus was to be ours together. And now it stands between us. You still have a chance, Reed. Go on. Save me. Do not think for a moment I shall ever rest until I have what is rightfully mine. Here's to the future, my friend.
Yeah, I think Joseph still has that gauntlet.
Good.
Hopefully get our hands on that.
That's all. That little set piece was built in the parking lot. This.
Let's go home.
Let's hope we have a home to go to.
And I literally took the last scenes of the big wide shots in The Wizard of Oz, where they're running around the castle, you know, they're being chased by the guards, and that was kind of cool, a little radio controlled, you know, and I told the guy, this guy Billups, I said, look, man, look at this. You see off in this wide shot overhead, you see down, way down there. Look, see what's way down there. There's water and a river, and he didn't get it, man. Or he couldn't do it or something, you know.
And this was money had been budgeted to him.
Yeah. Oh, he took money and didn't deliver. And then consequently, we had to get somebody to help us finish the movie. And these guys thankfully came up, you know. Yeah, it's unfortunate we didn't have
This is just the most comic booky moment for me.
Oh, yeah.
You know, they're in their suits. This is just straight out of the pages, you know. I can picture, like, Kirby's composition and panel placement, what it would be.
Yeah. But we wanted to make it really bright and
not to get into any trouble.
kind of fantasy, colorful, hard, you know,
soft.
this
You got, like,
really
a
hard backlight, and you know,
pro mist on the land.
yeah, something like that. So we could, you know, make it romantic and upbeat, bright, happy ending.
When Mark and I were first talking about this documentary for Doomed, you know, it really came from when I'd seen the movie. Glenn Garland, Jan.
Those two right there,
Glenn
Jan
and
and Glenn, helped finish this movie.
Oh, and was that the placement? You put them right up top? And what were they
I don't remember.
credited as? Associate producers,
Yeah,
I
but
think
they were.
it was?
She was the post-production supervisor for Roger Corman. And without her, man, this movie would have never been finished.
Yeah, like I was saying that, you know, there's a lot of names here, man. And I know that, you know, they go by quick. Laura Schiff, Mark Sykes.
Yeah.
But, you know, there's something to be said for the acknowledgement, you know, of work well done.
Yeah, all these people busted their ass.
And I
tell you.
You know, the primary focus of this documentary is that we're kind of going to get to the bottom of what happened and who did what and who knew what when and all of that. There's Jan again.
Yep.
And, you know, secondary but not too far behind is to kind of, you know, bring attention to, you know, all this work and what everybody did and what everybody gave up and what everybody lost.
Yeah.
So you were there for the orchestration and for the actual, when they were conducting it?
Yep. See, second unit, I get second unit credit because I shot all the miniature stuff and...
So you held the camera.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to say this is the first time in 2 years you've seen the whole thing, and...
Yeah. Look, I still think it's a pretty good movie. I mean, obviously there's scenes that, you know, if we'd had the budget and the money, and I don't want to keep beating that drum, but, you know, that's just the reality of it, you know, and... But I think for what we had, I think it's, you know, we told the story.
Yeah.
And we were true to the original comic and true to the characters.
Yeah.
And what more do you need? You know?
And pacing wise, you know, that didn't feel like whatever, like the 93 minutes that it is. It moves quickly.
I think
you know,
you're right
structurally,
about that, you know?
it's a sound story. And performances are intended, you know?
Right.
Ultra stereo.
Yeah, 94, man.
The copyright's 94. New Constantine. let's say if you interested,
Mark.
in the story behind where this movie ended up and why it ended up where it did, you're gonna have to check out Doomed, and
absolutely,
we'll answer all your questions.
That's right. Go see the documentary.
Ole, thanks a lot.
Buy the documentary. Thank you, man, for keeping this thing alive.